Hello, everybody. This is Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics. I am joined once again by George Michail. So it's good to see you. How you been?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me on the
Good.
show.
Quite. I know. All right. So now I saw because I'm pals with Benny. I'm I was just getting his notes on my cover for White Widow 6 yesterday,
Okay.
and I will be getting that updated for him as per his notes. But I saw he was sharing out George Michail. Well, no, it was like I Make Boys Cry and Resilient. That's the name of your comic, right?
Yeah, Resilience, my comic, and it's
Yeah.
partnered with I Make Boys Cry issue 2.
What does that? All
Kickstarter.
right. What does that mean? All right. So we got a Kickstarter launching today, right?
Yes, in an
And,
hour and a half.
yeah, and I wanted to be. Hello, Lorenz. I wanted to be handy and be like link in the description, but I went to Kickstarter and I Google and I couldn't find it. So, but it's in part it's because it's not out yet. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
not out
hour
yet.
and a half. I'm celebrating already, though. I'm excited. I got my suit
Okay,
on. I got my
so
wine on.
I mean, now you've done Kickstarter before, I think, right? Yeah,
I have, yeah.
you've done it right now. Okay, just I didn't tell you this before. I'm gonna tell you this now because I want my audience to, of course, get you know. Um, I'm going to be very, very curious how this works out for you because I was entertaining the idea of Benny, who runs Absolute, publishing Guinevere. And now, from the people that I've interacted with and around the indie comic scene, the amount of money that gets brought home from here's my share of the comic book local distribution through Diamond, although now no longer through Diamond, but although Benny may be still through Diamond. Like the money there was just kind of eh. So I was never all that raring to go about the prospect. And Benny wants like your character to be part of the Absolute universe, so it becomes like yeah, like so. But you've now gone through that process. So tell me, like, what is Resilient? I guess it's part of the Absolute universe. So now, like, White Widow was gonna hang out with Resilient and all that. So give me the rundown.
Sure. So
Okay.
Resilience is a series about a woman. Her name's Jolanda, and she loses her arms in a demining expedition in
Oh,
Cambodia.
that
Yeah, and
sounds bad.
so
Okay.
she goes through this transformation of being like a badass like judo teacher to
Hmm.
being an amputee, and then eventually she gets these pink cybernetic mecha robot arms that she actually controls with like glasses with her eye movements, and
Neat.
she controls the arms, and she needs to go rescue her man because he was in the military, but he had like a sordid past that will remain a mystery for now. But
Okay.
basically, it all is leading towards like a blood-soaked climax with the Mexican cartel. Yeah.
And
So
where does
this
the story
is
take place?
where in San Diego and
Okay.
in Tijuana. Yeah.
Neat. Okay. Awesome. All right. You were saying?
Yeah. So as far as the Absolute Comics relationship goes, we're just getting started. I'm excited
Hmm.
to see how it happens. The book is in Previews magazine now, which
Right.
this past Wednesday was a big day for me. It was like the first time like my name has been in previews. So this was my
Awesome.
first
Okay.
series released by a publisher. So yeah, it was kind of a lifelong dream to get that. So
Okay.
yeah, I've been kind of celebrating all week.
All
I'm
right.
super psyched about that. As far as the split with the from like Diamond's previews
Hmm.
and the comic book shops, that kind of remains to be seen for me.
Okay.
After the orders have been made, then I'll kind of know what the numbers are.
Right.
But
Because
ultimately,
you are all right now. You're the writer,
yes,
and I forget. Do you also draw?
no.
All right. So you're in the same boat I am, where there's you pick out your artist, and the book represents an investment of cash. And it's not that we want to be greedy, but we would like to see a positive turn on our investment. And
Yeah.
like I've just never heard of any numbers from local comic book distribution that was exciting. To me, like, all right, White Lily is available. Resilient has a pretty cool cover. You got a little booty action. I threw that in our thumbnail. You will probably sell more copies than White Lily, which did not have cool booty action. I only sold like 1,000 or something through Diamond when issue 1 came out. So but issue 2 is out this month, by the way. Check out at the local comic book store. White Lily 2 and now Resilient #1. But yeah, like for me, like I'd never heard anybody coming back talking about like, oh, this cash I got was woo. Except for for, like I just don't hear the story. So
I do
I'm
think
gonna be
though,
curious.
as a storyteller, you kind of want to get your story out there to as many people as
Yes.
possible, right?
Right.
And having my book in shops has been like a goal of mine since I was a little boy, right? Like
Right.
I spent my days. I used to draw a lot. I actually used to be pretty decent when I was in like grade school. I'd hang out at the kitchen table, working on my
Mhm.
my drawings. I had the copy of How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, and man, I
Oh,
wore that book out.
yeah.
Yeah, always drawing. But then as I got older and I got into writing, um, I sat down to try and draw my book, and I was like, "This is I need some help with this,
Hmm.
professional help." So that's one thing that's exciting about Resilient. There is we've got Vinzel Tabanas, he's incredible talent. He's from Paris, France. He lives in Quebec City now, and
Now, did since this is collaboration, um, the art production costs did Absolute pay that, or did you pay that? And did you choose the artist, and did they choose the artist?
no, so I had this book self-funded,
Okay.
and I met Jamie Tyndall and kind
Yeah.
of his partner in crime there, Murphy,
Oh yeah.
quite a lot. And you,
Murph.
and actually, and you too. We were all out there, and I
Hmm.
think Austin, Texas,
Yes.
hung out.
We were.
Yeah, so I tabled next to those guys quite a few times in 2019. I think like 6 different times they were at the same show as I was.
Awesome.
So I got to know them pretty well. And then when I went to New York Comic Con, I met Benny, and he gave my book a read, and yeah, he signed me to be part of it. So at that point, I'd only self-funded one issue, and then since
Hmm.
then I've continued kind of self-funding the book. We're on issue 4 right now, so there won't be any problems with the Kickstarter being fulfilled because we've got everything kind of in the can.
Sure. But what I'm saying is that look, I understand who funds all of my books, but
Yes.
like when I'm like, okay, but you're signing with somebody else. Are you still paying for the art that made the book? Is what I'm.
Yeah, at this point.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. So you chose the artist. Was that a collaboration with Benny, or were you like, I like this guy? How did that work?
No, well, I already had the first issue made.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah. There
yeah.
you go. All right.
So it was
So
100% done when Benny saw it, and then
okay.
and then we just continued on with the same artist because he's great.
Awesome. Fantastic. I I look forward to hearing how it works out. Is there a rundown you want to give me on like the Kickstarter? Is there anything? How many variant covers we got? Or now, actually, first off, you said this was also I Make Boys Cry 2.
Yes.
So, all right. So we've got a couple different comics. I'm going to assume we got some cool tiers where you can get Resilient 1 and I Make Boys Cry dose, and that'll be
Yeah,
neat.
exactly. So the way that we're doing it is we have 3 titles that are just in, or no, not just in stores, but they're primarily a retail edition.
Right. Yeah.
So one by our series artist, one by Ali Garza, who's
Right.
fantastic talent, worked on like Supergirl and Deadpool and Teen Titans. And then we have a lenticular cover in retails. That is, you turn it one way, and our heroines' arms disappear because they're
Oh,
gone,
neat.
and then you
Yeah.
turn it the other way, and they reappear. And she's just slayed down some gangsters, and that's by Andy Bellinger, who worked on like Swamp Thing and Southern Cross, and it looks really super duper sick.
Awesome.
Those are the retail versions that you can go into your store and ask them to bring that in for you. And then on
Hmm.
the Kickstarter, which is launching in an hour and a half,
Okay.
we've got some exclusives. I have one covered by Ed Bennis, who worked on Justice League and Birds of Prey. And I just here I'll
Sure.
show you.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the cover right here.
Neat. Okay.
From
Yeah.
Ed
That
Bennis.
one has more booty action.
Yes,
So there you
and then
go.
we've got our 3 retail ones there too.
Okay. Sounds good.
Um,
All right.
and we also have other ones by Jeffrey the Chamba Cruz, who worked on like Street Fighter, and
Yeah.
yeah, lots of cool stuff.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Um, it sounds great. like I said, I'm going to be curious to talk with you in you know, like a few months. All right, no, actually, all right, well, I got one more question, because you mentioned there are 4, and you already had number 1 created. So number 2, are you going to be paying for that, or is that like you've handed in your script and you've signed it away and you're just
Well, I don't know how much I should be talking about
okay?
specifics, but
Fair enough. Fair enough.
basically,
Okay,
it's
fair
kind
enough.
of
Well, again, because I'm like, you know, I'm in the same circuit. I'm like, should I give them a book? I don't know. That's why I'm kind of pumping you for detailed information. But I will just be curious to know then in the future, uh,
yeah. No,
how you feel it.
we have an equity split kind of
Yeah.
agreement in our
Okay.
contract,
Okay.
and yeah. So, but I'm just really super excited about this because you know, I've always wanted my books into stores, and so
Yeah.
Absolute Comics is helping me do this for sure.
Okay.
And you know, I always wanted to work in comic books, right? Like ever
Hmm.
since I was a little kid, and then I kind of fell away from it. I had like a lot of kind of fear of failure and you know fear of rejection and these sorts of things that um, you know I dealt with. And
I understand.
in my mid 30s, I was just like, forget this. Am I just gonna like live
Yeah.
my life afraid?
Look, you've
I'm
been
actually gonna
doing.
go
Look,
for it.
when I was next to you at the Wizard Worlds, we've worked together. You didn't have a problem pitching to anybody, so you
No,
certainly
no,
got
but
over
that's
that.
different though. I do find that like I can pitch at conventions a lot easier because if people don't like the book, well, that's fine. Especially when I was
Sure.
out there, I was pumping my monster books here, right?
Right. Right.
And you know, maybe they're not into monsters or whatever,
Yeah.
but and you know, or maybe they just don't want to buy a book right that second. That's
Right.
fine. And but when you're submitting to publishers and stuff like that, I find that really, really nerve wracking because it's like if they don't like it, then you know, maybe I'm not good, you know, and
Right.
and I was really nervous about this situation. I think everyone kind of can deal with feel a sense of like imposter syndrome when you're trying
Hmm.
to be a new creator, and that's why with this series, Resilient, I really tried to make it personal and not have it be like because you know my monster book is set in a horror genre. I've worked in other types of genres, and then this one, it's about a hero that gets knocked down and comes back again. And for myself, I broke my back in
Mm.
2014
Okay.
and was knocked down pretty hard.
Right.
It was a vicious car accident. A car
Wow.
accident. And when I was 15 years old, I had
Hmm.
heart surgery,
Okay.
and I had like pericarditis, and they drained the fluid from my heart. It's like the puts too much pressure on your heart,
Hmm.
and I was actually scheduled to go in for like a full like rib
Mm.
cage, you know, open
Yeah.
me up and then remove the sac around the heart.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and I was stuck in quarantine for 2 weeks after that surgery because they weren't sure how I got it and if it was contagious. So I
Right.
was in isolation at Vancouver Children's Hospital. So I wanted to really create characters that people cared about. But you know, when I put them
Sure.
through the paces of like getting knocked down, then when the crazy action happens, you're invested, right?
Right.
And you have a connection to these people, like kind of like Peter Parker, right? Like and Spider-Man, you know, when when Peter Parker's running late for his date with Mary Jane or Aunt May's in the hospital and he's got all these other commitments, well, you know, you care about that character so much more when the you know the Green Goblin starts terrorizing the city and he's in big trouble there.
Right.
And it's the same thing with mine. And another thing I wanted to mention too is like, um, I created this series with a husband and wife in mind,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
so our characters married. I think a lot
All
of
right.
times in comics, we always have like single people, you know, like, and this is about a relationship between a man and wife, and they're
Awesome.
going through some hard times too. They're trying to conceive and have a baby, and they're going through like IVF treatments and the financial hardship of that. So you really see a lot of uh, pain and stress and suffering that these characters go through, and I think it really connects you to them, you know. And there's lots of funny scenes and humor too. So so when the action happens, it's not like a video game where you don't necessarily care about the character. You're just kind of going through it.
Hmm.
You care, and the stakes are high when. And so I've really put a lot of like my heart and soul into this book, and I hope people will pick it up. That's my first time having a series launched through a publisher, so that's why I'm celebrating it.
I know, I can tell.
Cheers,
Look,
dude.
I wish you all the best. Everybody check it out. Resilient will be paired with I Make Boys Cry #2, as launched in an hour or so on Kickstarter by Absolute Comics. So there you go. Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Preston. I really appreciate it.
All right. All right, everybody. It's been Press Polter, Pocket Dice Comics. Thank you very much for your time. Take care.